Story time. Let's talk about the 2 times in recent history where I avoided being trafficked, and let's also cover some safety tips so that you can possibly avoid being trafficked too. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite auntie uncle. It's your favorite pirate captain. It's your favorite goddess king, LadySpeech, in the place to be. And I want to welcome you back to my channel. You could be anywhere in the world. As a matter of fact, you are somewhere in the world, and you're also sharing a little bit of time and space with me. So thank you for that, because your time, your space, and your attention are valuable currency. Thank you for making it rain on me. If you like what I'm doing, if you like what you see, if you're feeling any of this, if you're feeling any of me, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notifications bell so you can keep up with all of my shenanigans and happenings and goings, downs, and things. Also, make sure you hit that join button if you want to be a part of the Sugar Honey Dumpling crew, baby. That means you get exclusive chats and content and all kinds of perks. So check me out. Go onto my page and join now. Let's get into today's story time. Let's get into today's video. Let's get into today's safety tips, shall we? All right, y'all, 2 things before we get deep into it. Number 1, dear YouTube, this car is parked. There is no unsafe activity going on during the making of this video. And number 2, trigger warning. We're gonna get into some heavy things. If I'm talking about self-defense, then I'm gonna talk about some ugly things you have to defend yourself against. So if this is a little bit too much for you, I invite you to look at some of my other content. I definitely got a lot of other things that are a lot lighter in nature, okay? So trigger warning, take care of yourself, take care of yourself, take care of yourself. Now that we've established that, let's get into it. This video is inspired by 2 things. A recent event where I avoided being trafficked again, and the fact that on TikTok, my timeline for the past couple of months has been flooded with people who've experienced similar things, safety tips, and just a lot more news about these attempts happening a lot more frequently, okay? I'm speaking from the perspective of, number 1, a self-defense teacher, a former self-defense teacher, and I'm also speaking from the perspective of a potential victim, okay? Now, I had a lot of questionable things happen. I had a lot of really wild experiences that were not so good happen in my childhood that have to deal with this subject, but we're not going to talk about those today. We're going to talk about these latest 2 experiences that I've experienced. So once again, trigger warning. We're going to get deep into it. This is your last chance to exit out of this video before the party gets started, all right? Story time. A couple of years ago, I was enjoying a really beautiful night out with some friends. When I was living in Colorado, I participated in a collective called Danza Divina. And in this collective, we threw these ecstatic, joyful, cosmic, beautiful, amazing events that were filled with art and love and dance and libation and just connection and spirituality. It was a beautiful time, and it was a beautiful era in my life. So during one of these nights, where we had this amazing party, we packed up, and it's time to go. I am a passenger, and I'm riding with a friend of mine, the founder of actually Danza Divina, Alondra. So we were riding together that night. She was going to take me home. Another friend of ours needed a ride home as well, so my friend decided to take her as well. So as we were dropping her off, we said our goodbyes and everything like that. As we were dropping her off, I originally took up space in the back, and I let my friend take up space in the front. And instead of moving to the front, I stayed in the back, I believe. Yeah, I stayed in the back for this one. And so my friend starts driving off just like regular. This is not the first time she and I had ridden together that she'd been the driver. This is not the first time actually we'd been together when we dropped our friend off. So we dropped our friend off at their house, and we proceed to make our way to my house where I can get dropped off. So it's pretty late at night. We're talking middle of the night, okay? This party was epic, and it went till the wee hours of the morning. So this had to be at least 3, if not close to 4 in the morning, okay? We are tired, we are, you know, happy and like high off of the hormones of the evening. Like, it was just a really wonderful night. So many beautiful things had gone down. When I tell you, every single party, every single event that we threw was amazing, okay? It was amazing. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. If you've ever thrown an event, and especially a high quality, good event that has a lot of moving, working parts, you know it's no joke. It was a lot of work, but each and every single time we threw the party, it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it. So as we are driving, we're just debriefing. We're just debriefing. We're talking about what worked. We're talking about what could be improved. We're talking about good memories from the night. We're just debriefing, you know, discussing, coming down from just a great night. So my friend is driving, and we pull up to a light. And at this point, we're still in my friend's neighborhood. We're a couple blocks away from the friend that we dropped off their house, but we're still in the neighborhood. So we pull up to a light, and as we're pulling up to the light, we see that there is it's a Honda. Now, I forget what the car is, the Honda car that is shaped like a box. But like, that's what we end up pulling up behind, is this Honda that's shaped like a box. I don't know what that is called. I forget the name of that, but that's what we end up pulling up behind. So this car is actually pulled up by the light. I think I said that they pulled up, but they were already at the light. So we pull up to the light, and my friend is a pretty healthy and regular distance away from the car. As we pull up to the light, and that car was stationary. As we pull up to the light, the car was stationary when we get there. As we pull up to the light, the car starts inching back. So we're talking, and even though every once in a while she'll glance to the back, because I'm still sitting in the back, she's got her eyes on what's going on, and I've got my eyes on what's going on. So we both notice, and she backs up. Well, the car then accelerates and keeps backing up. And so she accelerates, and that's the moment where both of our spidey senses were like, something is not right here. So I like to stay strapped up. I like to have a weapon on me, and that night I had one. I had my railroad spike. And so spirit immediately starts talking to me. I get very intensely serious, and I can feel my spirits. Like, it's an immediate drop. I can feel the spirits drop down into me. I can feel them drop down over me. I can feel my spiritual team showing up, and I immediately go into a space of myself where I know I'm going to have to fight, and I know I'm going to have to fight for my life. This ain't my first rodeo. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I have survived a lot. I have survived a lot. I have survived extreme physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. I have survived exploitation. I have survived a lot. And I've survived a lot in part due to my instincts. I survived it because of my instincts. So those instincts kicked in, and I was fully alert. I immediately recognized that this is not a regular situation. So I tell my friend, something is wrong. I was like, back up fast, flip a bitch, and let's get out. So she does it. One thing I do appreciate about that night is that me and my friend were here. We were here. We were 100% united. We were feeling each other. Our energy was on the same page. We worked together. We understood each other. We knew when to take the lead. We didn't interrupt each other's process. But when she needed to take the lead, she took the lead. When I needed to take the lead, she listened. Okay? So she did what she had to do. She became a freaking race car driver. She felt the same things I felt. She just as magic as me. She put that sucker in reverse and flipped the bitch and turned around, and we started driving. Confirmation came when that Honda threw itself forward, then reversed, and then started coming after this. So now it's a chase. My friend floors it, goes a block or two, and I was like, make the right, quickly. And I was like, that's how we know. Like, I'm already sure that they're trying to traffic us, but that's how we know. When I was all the time as she's driving, I'm looking at the car, casing everything. I'm getting as much details as I possibly can. I have my phone out. I make sure my phone is accessible. I have my freaking weapon out, and I'm freaking praying at this point. I am calling every single war god I know. I am calling every single war goddess I know. I am calling every single benevolent ancestor that loves me but is about the shits. I am calling every destructive element. I am calling on every single time I have been violated. I'm calling on every single time I've been hurt. I'm calling on all of that, and I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there, and I'm watching them. My friend is driving, and I'm watching them. I keep my eye on them. I'm keeping my eye on them. So she hits the right quick. She takes that shit quick, and they're on us. They're on us. There are a couple times when they almost rammed us, and that's what they were trying to do. She is meanwhile in the front on her defensive driving. She is pushing this little Prius. I'm praying, and I'm talking to the ancestors. I'm like, yeah, I know what this is. I've lived there entirely too much. I know exactly what this is. I know exactly what this is, and I know exactly what's not about to happen tonight. I know exactly what's not about to happen tonight. I have survived too much, and I guarantee you, if they want somebody, I'm gonna take them with me. If they want me, I'm gonna take you with me. If you want me, you're gonna catch it over. You're gonna catch it as a dead body, and I'm going to take one of you with me. At that point in the game, my life means nothing. My friend is going to make it out of this alive and unscathed. And if anyone's going at him, it's gonna be me. It's not gonna be her. I don't want it to be me, but like, no. So she hits the right. They almost ram us like 3-4 times. We get to the end of the block, and we're by a highway. Where this neighborhood is, like, it's a poor brown neighborhood. They, gentrification, all that stuff. We're right next to the highway. So we hit the right, and they are coming for us. At one point, they pull up to the side, and they're trying to run us off the road. I tell her to get above it. I tell her to give above it. She is race car driving. Then I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. My name is LadySpeech, and I don't run. I'm done. Pull over. Stop the car and pull over. Stop the car and pull over. Stop the car and pull over! Stop the car and pull over! I just yelled at, and she's like, what? I was like, stop the car and pull over. Stop the car and pull over. Stop the car and pull over. So she gets above it, she stops the car, and she pulls over, and I fucking got out that car. I swung that door open, and they pull up to the side. As we stop, they pull up exactly what I slammed that back door open, and I fucking came around that car and started screaming. I started screaming, and the only thought in my head was, get through the window. If you want us to come with you, I'm going to come with you. If you want us to come with you, I'm going to come with you. But it's on my terms. It's on my terms. If you want me to come with you, I'm going to come with you, but I'm going to go through the window, and I'm going to leave all the DNA behind, and I'm going to make sure I write my name in blood and in flesh on this street corner. I'm going to leave evidence everywhere. I'm going to write my name over all your things. You are going to be a problem, and I'm going to be an even bigger problem for you. You want me? You want this? No one takes anything from me. You want me in the car? You want us in the car? I'm gonna get in the car, but I'm going through the window. Even thinking about it now, let me tell you something about me. I don't, when it comes to this witchcraft, when it comes to this magic, I don't play. When I tell you that I am the child of the war gods and the love goddesses, I mean that. It is literally always peace and love until it's not. and I will pull up and pull on everything in me. I will call down and invoke. One of my specialties is invocation. One of my specialties is channeling. One of my specialties is being mounted, is being possessed. I will call whoever it takes. I will invoke whoever it takes to assist me in destroying you if you come for me. 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 And I don't send for you. I called each and every one. I called each name that I knew. And I felt them. I got out that car with 10,000 of my people at my back. And I was going through the window, railroad spike first. I get out the car. I'm screaming, I'm yelling, and I take off running because I'm gonna get in the car. Y'all want us? You want us? I'm gonna get in the car. My friend's gonna get away. I'm gonna get in the car. I'm gonna wreak havoc though. I'm going to wreak havoc. I am a tsunami. I am a hurricane. I want you now. 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 I took off around the car. Railroad spike in hand. The front door, passenger door, was opening. Now this is one of those, it's important to mention what kind of car this was, because oftentimes you'll see a van. Like a lot of times when people are trying to traffic people, they try to choose vehicles that are easy to get people into. So that's why vans are popular. But also, I can't recall the name of this car, but it's a Honda, like it's kind of like the SUV, kind of boxy. It literally looks like a box. I don't think they make them like that anymore, but like it has like that, it has a main door, like the main passenger door is regular size, and then it has like a kind of a mini back door that kind of has that suicide opening that opens a different way. So I see that passenger door open, which I know then it makes it easier for that little door, that little back door to open, and it makes it easier for people to push people in. Still, with that door opening, I was like, oh no, I'm going through the window. And I had every intention, I'm leaving DNA everywhere. I'm gonna break that window, and I want to get cut up. I want to bleed. I want to go through the window. So at the time I had my afro, I want to go through the window because I want the glass to catch my hair. I want it. I want to leave parts of my forehead behind. I am not playing at this point in the game. I have clicked into a different part of myself. I have clicked into a part of myself that many of y'all have never met and you'll never meet. But like I was ready. That threw them off. Stopping threw them off, and me getting out of the car and me coming for them threw them off. Those doors were opening, and as soon as I cleared the front of my friend's car, I cleared it. I cleared it and was on my way, full freaking steam, with my railroad spike going for them. Door shuts, and they drive all the way off, faster than how they had been chasing us. That was some of the scariest moments of my adult life. It's been a while since I've been that afraid. It's been a while since I've had to tap into that space. There are a few of you who might hear this because y'all don't understand how deep it is for femmes out here in these streets. For women out here in these streets. There's a few of you who are gonna not believe me, and I don't care. Number one, I know my story is powerful. And number two, I documented this after that. The night that this happened, it took me a full 24 hours to come down. I was so shook. I disassociated so hard. I remember I went on Facebook Live, and that live still exists. I went on Facebook Live, and I was hysterical. I was crying. I was hysterical. It was the middle of the night, so I really didn't have anyone. Like, I couldn't really, like, wake anybody up, and I also was just not in my right mind enough to like physically call I could not think of anybody to call. I just needed to like express. I needed to like give proof of life. I needed to like, I went on there to make people understand how dangerous it is for black women, for black femmes. Yeah, so it's documented. Like, I say that to say, this is 100% true. And the documentation is there to prove it. And also, I wasn't the only one who went through this. So there's that. Yeah. One of the scariest moments ever. One of the scariest moments ever. Fast forward to a couple weeks ago. So I'm coming home. Of course, this is a couple years later. I live in Ohio now. Excuse me. I'm coming home from working at the magic shop, and there's about 3 or 4 routes that I can take home. So I choose to take one of the routes that I choose to take home. And I'm driving, and on this route, there is a space in the route where the road gets a little windy. And where the road gets windy, there's a couple of key spaces on that windy space. Number one, there's a lot of trees, and there's a couple spaces where, like, you're almost moving through a tunnel of trees, but there's a couple of spaces on that windy road where cars can sit and you won't ever see them, or people can sit and you will never see them. And so a couple weeks ago, I was driving by myself, and I'm coming home, and I drive, and someone pulls out in front of me. They just cut me, and I'm like, okay, whatever, it is what it is. This person starts, the speed limit is, I believe it's like 45 miles an hour, 35 or 45 miles an hour, one of those. So they start going under the speed limit. All right, you can go like five miles under the speed limit. It's still cool. So they increasingly decrease their speed. The more we're getting into these winding parts, they're decreasing their speed, and they're driving a little erratically. Now, I can tell that this is a new car, and I can tell this is the type of erratic that they're doing on purpose. This is not like I'm drunk or I'm disoriented or like a bee's in the car and I swerved. This is like, it just seems intentional and off, which already my spidey sense is like, this intentionally slowing down and this erratic driving, spidey senses is alert. We get to a certain spot in the windy road, and I look to the side and I look to the side, and immediately what I see is these trees, but there's openings. On one side, there is enough space for a car to drive up or drive out, and on the other side, there is enough space for people to come out. Where we are, the way the road is, there is not too much space from the road and where these things are. Suddenly, this car slows all the way down, and there's no reason to. There's nothing, I should say, the whole time this car is driving in front of me, there is not another car in front of them. And the time of day that we're driving, it's not too busy. It's busy enough, but it's not too busy. There's nothing in front of this car. There's nothing behind me. There's been no cars behind me, and there's been nothing behind them. They come to a space in the road, and I immediately look around what's going on, and something is like, nope! Now, this is a two-way road. You can't pass another car because the next road is going the opposite direction. That's too dangerous. This is a situation where a lot of people actually get caught up. I immediately said no. Nope. There was no reason for this car to slow down. Now, they didn't pump their brakes. They weren't like having car problems. They slowed down. And this was a perfect moment for on either side, if people ran out, and like from either side, or like I would be messed up. So I immediately prayed on it, looked, and they stopped on the road where you couldn't see because it was curvy, and it's a dangerous place to do. You can't like pass because you can't see what's coming from the other side. I prayed on it and took a chance. And like gunned it. I freaking gunned it and went around them. When I started to do that, they started to get faster, and I sped all the way up, and they were trying to run me off, and I sped all the way off and got all the way out of there. That's suspicious. That's weird. Listen, it's no joke out here in these streets. It's no joke out here in these streets, and you need to look all the way alive. People are in very desperate, not good energy. Before the pandemic, people were barely hanging on mentally. During the pandemic, many folks from many different backgrounds got pushed all the way over the edge. this point in the pandemic, especially with all the other ailments and things that are popping up, ain't not a soul okay on this planet. Some of us are dealing with that. Some of us are coping with that. Some of us are choosing to go all the way down into the abyss and cesspool of the most negative aspects of who we are and act out our humanity from there. Look alive. All that to say, it's no joke out here in these streets. Look alive and pay attention. Look alive and pay attention. Look alive and pay attention, because it might save your life. So now that I told you the story, let's talk about some safety tips, okay? Number one, car safety. Women and femmes, everybody. Adhere to the 40-second rule. It should not take you more than 40 seconds to get in your car, okay? So this means if you got a lot of things, if you got 2 or 3 book bags like today, I have my computer bag, I have my purse, I have my water bottle, and I also have my teacup. Before I went out to my car, I consolidated everything. I thought about how I'm gonna get into my car, and then I put my things on in the order I needed to take them off. That would be the best and the smoothest. It should not take you longer than 40 seconds. And if you're really good, it shouldn't take you more than 30 seconds to get into the car, okay? So for those of you who like to have a lot of stuff, stop. If there's any way that you can consolidate your things down to the least amount of bags, do so. Stop getting into the habit of going to your car with an armful of things. Stop. And if you have to go to the car with an armful of things, you need to make sure you think about it. Think about it. Think about where your car is parked, how quickly you can get into your car, how quickly you can put these things in your car, okay? Not only should you be getting in your car fast, but you need to, number one, do not make it look rushed or scared or whatever. Just have a system, be calm, get yourself into that car. Number two, pay attention while you're getting into the car. Pay attention while you're getting into the car. Before you go to your car, before you get to your car, you need to be looking at the people around you. You need to be looking at the cars around you. If you see a van parked by your car and it wasn't there, you need to take a moment and feel the energy of that van out, okay? Shouldn't take you more than 40 seconds to get in the car. 30 seconds if you're really, really good. And when you're getting into the car, pay attention. Look around, look up under the car, look around the car, pay attention. Also pay attention to the people who are paying attention to you. Pay attention to the people who are paying attention to you. This leads me to my second tip. No earbuds. No earbuds when you're going to the car. Stop listening to headphones. Now, some of us who are neurodivergent, we have headphones because of sensory orders. If you have to wear headphones because sensory stuff, I dig that. But your head needs to be on swivel. Your head needs to be on swivel because you look like a target. They don't know if those are noise canceling, sensory headphones, or they don't know if you're actually listening to something, but it looks like you're listening to something. So if you can afford to take those off while you're going to your car, take those off. If you cannot afford to take those off, then do what you have to do, but you need to be making sure your head is on swivel, and that makes you look like a target. Do not put the earbuds, and it's not enough to just cut the music off in your earbuds. Take them out of your ears. Take them out of your ears because predators are looking at that. The more likely you are distracted, the more you are a target. Tip number 3, pay attention. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. I've already said this, but pay attention. Pay attention. Look at your car. Look if there's anything different. Notice when you get out of your car, take a look at your car. Take a look at the outside of your car. Just take a look at your car. Get used to looking at it. Get used to noticing different details. When you're coming to your car, if you're getting into the driver's side and there's not a passenger, if you can find a way to look at your passenger side doors, if you can look at your gas tank, because a lot of air tags, people tracking people. There are people who are putting zip ties on the doors to let you know you are a target. Look at your car. So pay attention before and after you get in your car. Pay attention. Pay attention when you're getting out of your car. Pay attention to the people who paid attention to you. Pay attention to the people who paid attention to you. When you were rolling up into a parking lot, take a round, head on swivel. Your head needs to be on swivel. Your head needs to be on swivel. Also, this is a deterrent for predators. They want an easy target. If you are constantly surveying your space, if you're constantly looking alive, if you're constantly putting your eyes on them, able to identify them, this makes you less of an easy target. And baby, they're looking for the easiest thing out there. Number 4, back into parking spaces. Stop pulling up into parking spaces. If you can avoid pulling into a parking space, avoid it. And if y'all don't like backing up into parking spaces, I'm sorry, get over it and learn. If it's because you're not good, I'm sorry, get over it and learn. 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 If you ever have to escape a situation, I'm gonna tell you this. When you are in a frantic space in your head, sometimes it's hard to think. So if you are getting in your car and you're being attacked and you have to back up in a space, a lot of times people aren't thinking about the cars that are behind them or walls, or like it's just easier to pull off from a space than it is to back out of a space. So if you are traveling by yourself, if you are traveling, even if you're traveling with other people, if you can afford to back into a space, back into a space, because then you don't have to navigate. Is there a wall behind me? Are there people behind me? Like, you are less likely to get away quicker and faster, and you'll save a couple of seconds if you just pull off into this, out of the space. So back into parking spaces. Next tip, let's talk weapons. Let's talk self-defense apparatuses, okay? I would suggest you have a weapon, a self-defense apparatus that you're carrying on you. I also suggest you have one in several different places. So in your car, and on you. In your house, have a couple. 2 things. If you have a apparatus, a tool that you're going to use to help you in your self-defense, you need to make sure that it's easily accessible. So make sure it is a place where you can grab it, and it's easy for you to get to. It's easy for you to, if it has a protective casing, make sure all of that is easy for you to, access. Number 2, you need to practice with it. Whatever you are using, you need to practice with it. I do not suggest people using knives as self-defense if you don't practice with it. From a self-defense teacher's perspective, many people get hurt with the weapons they use for self-defense because they don't know how to use them. If you don't practice with the knife, if you don't like have a martial art or a fighting practice that uses a knife, don't carry it, because you are 80% of the time that could get taken away from you and used against you, okay? So that's my thing on weapons. I love them. I love tools. And choose something that you're familiar with. So the reason why people are going to say, like, why a railroad spike? Because I use it in my spiritual life. So it's something that feels very familiar in my hand. It's something that feels, and you're not going to take it away from me. The railroad spike that I use is also dedicated to a certain spirit who walks with me and who protects me. So it's connected to my spirituality. It's connected to my muscle memory. And it's also something that people it gives me a couple of seconds because people aren't expecting it. It's something that I can do a lot of things with. It's versatile. It's a lot of uses. So make sure that your weapon should be an extension of you. And that can only happen when you practice with it. So making sure you're handling and practicing with your weapon on a regular basis. And making sure you keep it in places that is accessible. Next tip, stop being so nice. And stop apologizing for unnecessary things. One of the ways that one of the tests that a lot of predators use, or what they pay attention to when they're looking for a victim, the perfect victim, is a lot of femmes and women who have been, and people who have been socialized to make themselves smaller, to diminish themselves, to put other people first, okay? If you are a person who's always saying sorry when you haven't done anything major, like, I know people who, they accidentally bump into a little sorry, everything is sorry. There's one thing to apologize when you've done something wrong, when, like, you've wronged someone, you've hurt someone's feelings, you made a big mistake, you messed up. It's one thing to apologize for your very existence. You accidentally, or someone bumps into you, sorry. Someone drops something, sorry, like, that type of person is least likely to, number one, trust their instincts when someone is doing something shady, and that person is more likely to doubt themselves when when another person is doing the attacking. Don't be too nice. Now, I am not walking around here saying being rude as hell. I am not advocating randomly cussing people out. I am not advocating being a foul person, but I will say this: there is such a thing as too nice. And folks who, if you are a people pleaser to a point where Stop being too nice. 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 I'm not rude, but I make it very clear when I recognize I'm being played, or when I'm being gaslit, or when someone's doing some throwing subtle shade. I always make sure I address it, and I always make sure I address it with some bite to me. I don't second guess myself when it comes to me being gaslit. I don't second guess myself when I know someone's being shady. I'll address it. Because what that tells them is that I absolutely know what you're doing, and I'm not going to be manipulated, and I'm also going to defend myself. What it tells predators is I'm not an easy mark. I'm going to name it if I'm uncomfortable. I'm going to name it if you have wronged me. I'm going to name it if you have transgressed. I'm going to name it. Not only am I going to name it, I'm going to fight back. That little bit of bite back, that little bit of I'm not here for your shenanigans, I'm not here for it, I'm not. That bit of nope, I know you gaslit me, I know what happened here. That little bit of yeah, I'm not here to be prey, I'm not here to be stepped on or worked on. That little bit of that can make the difference between a predator targeting you and a predator moving the hell on. Stop being too nice out here in these streets. If I do something wrong, if I wrong you, I'm going to apologize. But I don't apologize for my existence. If I'm walking, so for instance, if I'm walking, a simple thing that like predators will do, if like you're walking in an aisle, and they shoulder check you a bit, but they were the one in the wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. No. Number one, I'm not moving out the way. And number two, if you saw me coming and you intentionally moved into me, I'm going to give you nothing but attitude back. I'm definitely going to let you know this right here is not an easy mark. It's not. I'm going to give you hell. I'm going to give you hell. And what is the number one thing that predators are looking for? They're looking for easy prey. So don't be easy and don't be nice. Flip the script on them. This is one of your most important tips. Flip the script on them. What do I mean by that? Every predator has a script. They have a way that their assault, they have a way that their thing is going to go. And they are choosing the right person to fit the script. They are choosing the right personality to fit the script. Once they've chosen you, they are manipulating circumstances and they're manipulating things around you so that you react in the way that they want you to react. Once you've been chosen, you got to recognize that there is a script, and you need to do everything you need to do to not follow the script, because this makes them have to think, and it makes you less of an easy target. An example of this. During that first story I told you about what happened, we were running from them, and that's what they wanted. They were looking for an easy pick off. They were looking for us to they were looking for an easy pick off. When we quickly let them know we're not playing this game, then the second plan, which is part of the script, is to run us off the road. How we flipped the script is when I told my friend to stop. And that was the point of me flipping the script. That was the point of me telling her to stop. No. You want to run us off the road. You want to get us in an accident. You want to make it easier for us, or you want to run us, because here's the thing. We were in a regular neighborhood. These people probably knew the neighborhood. So they were running us. They could be running us into a trap. My first thought is that they probably know people in the neighborhood. And for trafficking to go really well and quick, a lot of times why you don't get it is because the way it's a script and a setup. I was very clear that if we got picked up, we probably wouldn't have left that neighborhood for 24 hours. And the network of people, the car could have disappeared quickly. All of it, because we're in a neighborhood. So flip the script. No, you're not going to run us off the road. No, you're not going to run us to a street that we don't know. No. Stop the car. And I got out. This is where they weren't expecting that. Now I'm coming to them. You want me in the car? Great. I'm going to change the script. The script, you want me in your car on your terms. So if I have to get in the car and it's looking like y'all are relentless, then I'm going to get it on my terms. In my terms, I'm going to leave DNA everywhere. I'm going to make this inconvenient for you, because if I break your window, and if I get my blood on it, and if I get my hair on it, and if I make enough, I start stacking variables that they hadn't thought about into the equation. I'm just stacking variables now. I'm just doing random. It's not random to me, but it's random to them. I'm wilding out. And now you got to think. Now you gotta think. Now you gotta think. Because I got out the car, because I was going full force towards them, because I was now willing, I presented a wild card. Now they're like, we don't know what we picked up. We don't know. And here's the thing that I didn't mention before about that situation. I mentioned that I was sitting in the back and my friend was sitting in the front. The way her Prius was set up, she had tinted windows, but the back was way more tinted than the front. It was super dark, and with the way that I was dressed and all the crap that we had in the car, I really believe, and me and her talked about it, I think they thought she was by herself. I really believe they thought she was by herself. We really think that. Like, they thought she was by herself. And the way a Prius, especially the model and the year of her Prius was, the way that back window slopes and the fact that it was tinted, you couldn't see me. And I'm browner skin, was wearing dark colors. I believe in my heart that they thought she was by herself. So when I got out the car, number one, that's a variable. We didn't know there was another person in the car. Number two, the car stopped. Number three, like, I came out screaming. I came out screaming. Banshee! Banshee! Like, theater voice, Godhead voice. I came out bellowing, and I came out saying very specific things. I wasn't saying help or whatever. I was hurling hexes, I was hurling curses, I was speaking the names of deities. Everything I was coming out of my mouth, I was cussing, I was stepping to them. All the hood came out of me. They was all types of B's and MF's and what you want, like everything. I let it all. Everything, I let it all came out. Flip the script. They weren't thinking about that. So if you have been targeted by a predator, one of the best things you can do is flip the script. And lastly, and I said this before, I'm gonna say it again, trust your instincts, trust yourself, trust your gut feelings. If it feels crazy, if it feels weird, get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of there. I don't care if I look crazy to anybody on that street that second story, when I skirted, I don't care. I don't care. And I don't care if there would have been a cop there, because I would have been very honest and been like, yo, no, if that was a trafficking situation, I'll take whatever ticket, because that was a whole trafficking situation. And yeah, I did an illegal move to save my life. Don't matter if you look weird. Don't matter if it's like, don't second guess yourself. Don't second guess yourself. Don't second guess yourself. Don't second guess yourself. Trust your instincts, because there could be the difference between you being trafficked and you making it home safely. Trust your instincts. Trust your gut. And that's that on safety. And that's that on self-defense. And that's that on trusting your instincts. If you made it to the end of this video, gold star for you. Thank you so much for hanging on. Thank you so much for hanging on. Thank you so much for your time, your space, and your attention. This is an important video for me. I know I'm going to revisit it at some point, but I really needed to get this out. This has been on my heart. Like I said, I have been thinking about this for the last couple weeks. It's been all over my TikTok for the last couple months. Just stories of people, their stories of almost getting trafficked. Like I said, I've lived a wild life, lots of really great things, also not so great things. And it was important for me to share my story. It was important for me to process the last couple weeks, because that wasn't the worst experience that happened to me that very last time that this happened. I just kind of glazed over it. And as I'm seeing more stories, there was something in me that was like, nah, you need to address it in yourself. Even though it wasn't a huge trauma, it's still not okay. So this video was cathartic for me and helping me to really just finish those feelings and finish addressing that. But also, I, in my opinion, have some valuable tips and information to offer, and I wanted to make sure I offered it and I put it out there. I'm all about protection, especially from the spiritual perspective, but I'm all about protection from every level. So be out here in these streets protecting yourself. People are not okay. People are, like I said, the cesspool of their shadow self. That's where people are at. People are acting from the abyss of dysfunction. People do it, no one's okay. And those of us who are doing the best are tending to that. Those of us who aren't doing the best are just giving in. So you need to protect yourself. Look alive. Look alive. Share this video, please. If it was beneficial for you, please share this video with other people that you think it'll be beneficial to. Share it on other platforms. Share it, 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 share it. Do what you gotta do with it. Do what you gotta do with it. And on that note, please take care of yourself. This was a heavy video, so go engage in some self-care. Do some deep breathings. Do some grounding. Take a bubble bath, especially if this brought something up for you. Just go eat something that brings you joy. Go watch a cartoon. Go snuggle in your blanket. Please go take care of yourself. This was heavy. And just in case no one has told you today, you are valuable and you deserve to be protected. You deserve to be protected. You deserve to be protected, and you are valuable. Thank you for surviving everything that you have survived. Thank you for surviving every event that has come for you, that has come to end you, every person, every situation, everything that has come to end you. You're still here. You triumphed. They didn't win. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Now, I didn't want to take up all your time. I just want to take up a little bit of your time. And now that I've done that, my mission is accomplished. So, you have a good morning, a good evening, a good day, a good afternoon, a good whenever you encounter this video. You have a good week, a good moment, a good second, a good decade, a good life, a good now. I love you. I live you. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your support. You know the drill. If you like what I'm doing, if you like what you see, if you're feeling any of this, if you're feeling any of me, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notifications bell so you can keep up with all my shenanigans and happenings and goings-ons and things. And now, God, Goddess, Universe, Lawa, Orisha, Ancestors, Spirits willing, I will see you in the next video. Peace.